Evening, folks. I'm Sam. I'm part of the Awaken team and involved with the Aquarium in town.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm involved with Pursuit, which is kind of house of prayer stuff in Taunton.
And we just had this heart to put a song out of proclamation, propheticness over the county of Somerset, and it was called Kingdom Come, and it's by these lovely people here, Rich and Lydia. So great to have you tonight. Join with us as we just chat.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us. So yeah, it was. I think at the start of it's been a really interesting season for all of us as a church across the world. But at the beginning of the kind of COVID situation, I remember the song "The Blessing" came out, and it kind of went around the world, and it was got such an amazing song to just declare God's blessing over our country, over the people around our neighbourhoods. And so for us in Somerset, as we were coming towards Pentecost, we just felt like the season was on the shifting. Something was changing, and we were really excited about seeing God come and move, and seeing people's lives impacted, and seeing people set free and transformed. And so, we were kind of chatting about it, and I had this song, Kingdom Come, which I'd heard at David's Tent, which I mentioned Lydia actually leads, a couple of years ago, and it just stuck in my heart. And this refrain of, God, let your kingdom come, God, let your will be done, was just like, this is everything, and I don't understand what's happening right now, and I have no idea what to pray, and I'm confused, and I'm maybe struggling. But I thought this is the song we can sing right now, and we wanted to kind of sing it as a declaration over Somerset. So we had an amazing time with it, and we, about 7 or 8 churches came together, and we kind of did a standing in unity, declaring this as a declaration over Somerset. So it's a huge honour to have Rich Lydia with us tonight, who are the writers and of this song. So just to start off, we just talk a little bit of the story of the song and a little bit of your heart behind it and where it came from.
Yeah, so for me, it began quite a very long time ago. I had a few less grey hairs, but I spent some time in East Africa on one of a few gap years, and I was in Kenya, and it was about a year after the post-election violence. I think it was 2008, and the country was ripped in two, hundreds of thousands of people in refugee camps, and people murdered on the streets, and it was a crazy time. And so I went with a small team, and we did a national day of prayer and fasting in the National Stadium. I was with the Call in America, and it just happened that I was the only non-Kenyan on the worship team, and so we spent weeks praying, and praying into this day of wanting to see a nation that had been brought to its knees, healed and restored. And so as I was leading on that day, that's where the refrain came spontaneously, God, let your kingdom come, let your will be done. And so that was sort of the seed for the song. And then it took a good few years after that to sort of chisel the rest of it into shape. And it was when we were at King's Cross Church in London, KXC, we were working on a record then, and that's when the song sort of finally sort of took shape. But our heart for it has always been that it's an anthem of hope, that we declare the kingdom of God is at hand for the poor, people who are mourning, and all the things from the Beatitudes that we talk about but perhaps don't sing about as much as we should do. And that's where sort of the heart behind the song is, that we're prophesying and we're praying that God isn't distant, he's actually at hand, and his kingdom is coming, and he's arriving. And we want that to happen within us, within our hearts, as we enthrone him, but also around us as we change the atmosphere and want to see his kingdom built on the earth. So it was quite a few years in the making after that initial moment. And that
happens quite often, doesn't it?
Quite often, yeah.
A song has to die before it
comes back to life.
Yeah. To life.
Yeah.
There's always a moment that we're completely bored of the song, even though it's true, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
even though it's a worship, it's true, because you've sang it, and then it just loses its its connection, and then something happens, for example, and then suddenly you're like, this is the song.
It comes back to life.
And it comes back to life, and you can really connect with it, and really worship Jesus with it, and that's I think that's very powerful, because then it's not just words and lyrics, it's something you really lived through.
Yeah. And that, so the chorus, that, you know, that refrain, "God, let your kingdom, let your will be done," we'd often just sort of tag that onto another song. And you know, it was a giblet at that point, and then we turned it into a whole chicken pie at some point.
Chicken leek pie, probably.
Chicken leek. So we were so, I mean, I cried my eyes out when I first saw it. It was amazing, so moving, and you know, I did say to you,
so pure.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Yeah, I did say to you, I think they did a better version than we did. So
yeah,
we loved it. It was amazing, and it just
We would be lucky to hear from you as well, because it literally went around the world. We had a church in Sydney or some Australia somewhere that shared it. Like, these guys have just done this in the UK, and we want to share it with our church, and it reached 20,000 people. Like,
wow,
amazing. How many?
20,000 people.
Really? Goodness, I didn't know that.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautifully done.
Yeah. I mean, it's as a you know, as a songwriter, you know, my focus has shifted over the years from sort of writing songs for my own expression to, you know, we want to give people a song, and seeing songwriting and worship leading as an act of service, and giving people a song for a season is like, so, you know, it's so encouraging for us that it's not just us singing it, it's not just my mum listening to it, but but that, you know, something of the conversations that we've had with God, that they also resonate with other people. You know, we always have that when we read good books or when we listen to good talks. And, you know, when you identify with someone else's conversation with God, and that's the goal with a song, is that we turn that into a conversation that other people can have as well. And so yeah, we were blown away when you guys did it. It was amazing. Yeah.
I've been really interesting. I kind of got sucked into some of the depressing psalms in the Bible recently. Just David, when he's in the down places. I was just listening to your, if you guys don't know, just released a new song last week, Fighting My Heart. Is that right? And just absolutely loving it. But I'm just aware it almost feels like an anthem for those that are feeling worthless and broken and struggling. So much in Kingdom Come as well about lift up your heads, like if you're feeling poor and downcast, and that's so much Jesus' heart to lift up and broken. But I was just wondering, like, your heart behind learning how to sing worship in the place of being broken, in the place of feeling worthless and struggles. So I think lots of people I know at the moment are actually had a really tough couple of months through this. And actually learning to just sing high praise songs and breakthrough is glorious sometimes, and it's really good. But actually sometimes, like David, we need to learn to sing even in the place of pain, and actually use that pain and the struggle and the trials and lift it up as part of our worship, and sing in a place of rawness and honesty. It's great to hear your heart behind, like, how we respond right now when we're struggling with finding things are tough. I just think your songs are an amazing thing to help us connect with God in that place. If you've got thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think if I would, if in our relationship, in our marriage, if I would only share with Rich if I'm okay, you know, and never tell him when I feel down or when I go through a really hard time, you would lose relationship, wouldn't you? And even more so with our Heavenly Father. So he so wants to know how we are in that place where we feel lonely and where we feel broken and where we don't even want to worship. Like, I remember in lockdown, when lockdown just started, flipping heck, I struggled, you know. I was like, how are we going to do this for 3 weeks? And then by the end it was 10. And like, we can't go to anything. Everything is closed. You know, I almost panicked inside. And I remember just feeling a bit grumpy and a bit, you know. And I remember I was peeling the potatoes, and I just, you know, and I just knew I had to put on some worship music. And I did, and I just, you know, I just felt it bubbling up, and I was like, but I don't want to sing. Yeah, we have that too, don't we? Like, I just don't feel like it, you know. And I just pressed through that. I was like, come on, Lydia, you know, the only way to to do is to be face to face with the Father and sing to Him. So I was peeling the potatoes, and I just by 10 minutes in, I was just singing on the top of my lungs. It's something just broke, and it's not like that's why we sing. It's not like because we won the breakthrough, but it's because we were face to face with the Father, and that's when we remember again, like, wait a minute, this is not the end of the world. Where I'm going through is nothing. We live for eternity. 3 weeks in lockdown is nothing. And it changes perspective and everything around you, because you can focus on Him. So, and that's not just then, it's every moment. Like, for example, when my brother died almost 5 years ago now, you go through like deep, you lost your best friend in that same year. It was just a horrible, awful year of deep sadness. And those are the moments, you just really realize, like, what's your foundation? Like, can we really worship the God who is the God of life, but my brother just died? Can we worship that God that we have all hope for, even though we don't see the miracle happening? Yes, we do. But it's tough, and but that's relationship, isn't it? We sometimes need to fight, but that's relationship. We don't.
Not like actual fighting.
No.
You just said that when you punched me. So.
But I sometimes say, like, sometimes it has to thunder for the sun to shine again. I don't know if that's a Dutch expression, but it's true, isn't it? Like, if something is like heavy and that's if people feel like down and sometimes it has to thunder, and then the light can break through again. So express your emotion, express how awful you feel, and that you're disappointed with people and disappointed with God, and because then light will shine through again. I 100% believe that.
Yeah.
Being real is just very important.
Yeah.
Is groaning, and we are longing for your kingdom to come.
All creation, all of heaven, join their voices as one.
God, let your kingdom come. May your will be done. God, let your kingdom come. your kingdom come. May your will be done. God, let your kingdom come.
Here on earth as in heaven.
God, let your kingdom come. May your will be done. God, let your kingdom come.